My son's hand was cold when he tucked it into mine. We stood on the edge of a highway rest stop, two duffel bags at our feet, both of us exhausted enough to collapse right there on the concrete. I kept telling myself I was done running, but survival has a way of pushing your feet forward even when your heart is begging you to stop. A sleek silver SUV rolled up. The tinted window eased down. It was my older brother's wife, Aunt Lisa to my boy. Her expression was tight, like she was bracing herself for an earthquake she knew was coming. "Get in, Danny," she whispered. I need to tell you something before things blow up." Her voice cracked on the last word. That's when the chill in my bones finally settled into something steady, because I already suspected the truth was circling close. I buckled my son in and slid into the passenger seat, my pulse oddly calm. The kind of calm that comes only after you've been broken enough times that your fear has run out of places to hide. I used to believe my husband, Logan Pierce, loved me with the kind of devotion people wrote novels about. At least, that's how I remembered it. We met at 19, married at 21, started building something from scratch, our small hardware supply business, a modest house, routines that made life feel safe. Logan had always held my hand like he was grounding himself. Later, I realized anchors don't just keep you steady, they can also drag you under. 2 years ago, he left for a late meeting and never came home. Missing. No accident report. No calls. Just a void, and a 5-year-old son asking where Daddy went. Logan's family didn't cry. Didn't help. Didn't even pretend. His mother looked me in the eye a month after he vanished and said, "You're cursed. And I won't let you drag this family down with you." Then she kicked us out. I didn't beg. I didn't scream. Because something deeper than grief had already begun to whisper inside me, "Pay attention." A year after the disappearance, I noticed something strange. Logan's closed business account began showing digital activity. Nothing dramatic. Tiny recurring transfers. All identical. All precise. All out of place. Then came a message. An unknown number. 3:22 a.m. 3 words. "He's doing fine." And one warning. Don't ask again. I didn't tell the police. I didn't tell Lisa. I didn't even tell myself the full truth out loud. So I watched. And waited. And listened. People talk when they assume you're weak. People reveal things when they think you can't hurt them. I learned to fade into the background. And in that silence, the world handed me clues. Logan's cousin, Marcus, the same one who moved into our business building right after Logan vanished, suddenly started flashing money he had never earned. He had always acted too friendly, too helpful, too close. Then one night, I overheard a conversation between two workers outside the hardware store. Marcus said the boss isn't coming back. Said he's starting fresh somewhere else. My veins turned to ice. Not from shock, from confirmation. So I began preparing. Nights studying financial lawsuits, asset recovery laws, and federal fraud regulations. Days pretending I couldn't figure out how to fill out basic forms so they'd keep underestimating me. I kept a ledger. Every transaction. Every transfer. Every suspicious connection. Finally, I hired a private investigator with the last emergency cash I'd stashed years ago. A week later, he returned with photos that knocked the wind from my chest. Logan. Alive. Living in Colorado Springs. Healthy. Smiling. Standing in the doorway of a new house with a woman holding a baby girl. His baby girl. A house purchased with funds from our company. Our savings. My contribution. He hadn't been taken. He hadn't been threatened. He hadn't been lost. He walked away. And Marcus helped build the bridge he walked on. My grief didn't just die that day. It decomposed. What remained was strategy. Quiet, calculated strategy. I filed an insurance fraud claim. I filed a missing person fraud report. I froze all assets tied to our old business, most of them legally registered under my contributions. I started proceedings against Marcus for corporate misappropriation. Then I filed for presumed spousal death inheritance, which meant if Logan wanted to reclaim anything, he'd have to come out of hiding. And he did. Last night, the police called me. "Ma'am, your husband is alive. He appeared today to dispute the inheritance." Alive. Cornered. Exposed. Which brings me back to the SUV. Lisa's hands were trembling on the wheel as we approached the police station. Danny, she whispered, Logan and Marcus, they're blaming each other. They're saying you were the problem, that you'd ruin their plan if you stayed. Marcus wants the business. Logan wants his old life back. They're falling apart. I didn't flinch. I'd been waiting for this moment too long. Inside the station, the air hummed with tension. Logan's face turned ghost white when he saw me. Not guilt, fear. Marcus looked worse, sweating, twitching, cornered. I stood in front of them, my son's small fingers gripping my shirt. 2 years, I said quietly. 2 years you left me wondering whether you were dead. 2 years you spent a life built with my money, my work, my trust. Logan tried to speak. I lifted a hand. I'm not here for answers. I'm here for closure. Officers led them into separate rooms. Identity deception. Misuse of assets. False disappearance report. Their footsteps echoed like an ending. I didn't blink. I didn't look away. When the doors closed, something inside me finally loosened. Not pain. Not relief. Control. Lisa touched my shoulder. Are you okay? I exhaled a long, steady breath. I didn't just survive, I said. I reclaimed everything they stole. I lifted my son into my arms, walked outside into the cold morning light, and realized, for the first time in years, I was free.